Hey, what's up? John Sonmez from simpleprogrammer.com. So I want to do a quick video about something I was just thinking about as I was just finishing up my videos for the day, and I was going through my Kanban board. You can check out my board here. By the way, if you want to know what that is all about, I did a video a while back on how I plan my week. You can check that out. I'm not going to explain it here. But one of the things that was happening to me today was I was feeling a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit like I don't want to do this shit anymore. I just want to say fuck it, I'm done, and not continue on, right? So sometimes that happens, right? With oh my god, I don't feel like doing videos, I don't feel like writing blog posts, getting my book out, and when that happens, I gotta kind of evaluate, right? Sometimes it's just gonna happen just naturally, but I wanted to evaluate it and say sometimes when I'm feeling that way, one thing that's really helpful to do is to step outside yourself and say, okay, acknowledge it. Yeah, what is it that you're feeling? You feel this way, you feel rushed, you feel that you don't want to do this, unmotivated. Why? What is going on? What is the process that's going on? And when I thought about that a little bit, I realized something, that for the past few days, what I've been doing is I've been filling up my schedule, and then I've been filling up the evenings again, been kind of shooting some videos in the evening, and so what ends up happening is that you're never done. Okay, for the day. And this is what I wanted to talk about, is just this idea as I realized that I was screwing myself up here, right? And this is why, again, I did this blog post on, or I did this video on doing a failure journal, and I'm journaling my failures, my mistakes. And this is why it's so important to do that, is because this was a mistake that I made, and I just realized that I'm very focused now on when I make mistakes, or when I have a failure, what happened? Why did it happen? How can I prevent that? What was the cause of that? And in this case, what I believe it is again, not having that stopping, not having a completion point, right? If you're going to schedule work for the day that you're going to do, you need to have a point when you're done. You need to have a clear point where you're dropping it and you're saying, okay, I've finished. This is a task that I'm going to do, or this is how many hours I'm going to work, and you got to be done. If you always have something hanging over your head, right? Then you're going to feel like the job is never done. You're going to feel like the race is never finished, and you're never going to refresh, right? You're never going to feel like you've got that reprieve. And so this happens a lot actually in software development world with Agile, with Scrum teams, Agile development, is that it's always a sprint. They're called sprints, and you're always going, and you've always got a new backlog or a new story or new something to do, and it's never ever done, right? So you can kind of lose motivation and lose heart because, hey, I just got to keep on going. What is this? I'm never done, right? So you got to have points where you're done. So one of the things that I try to do with my day, which again, I was neglecting this, and now I've been brought back to it, is I try to create a stopping point. I try to create an end. Sometimes that's a hard cap. I've experimented with various things. One point I was saying, okay, by 1 o'clock, I'm done. I'm done working. Wherever I'm at, I take some free time before my workout, do something fun, and I'm done, and I'm not doing anything in the evening. Okay. At one point I had that at 3 o'clock. At one point I had a certain number of Pomodori that I was going to do during the day. It doesn't really matter what it is, so long as you can have some way of capping it, in some way of feeling that you're done, and so that you can have a break. Because it's not even just scheduling a break, right? Taking a break is one thing, but there's this mental aspect of it, of removing the burden off of your head so that you don't feel like you've got something hanging over it all the time, right? If you constantly feel like if you're scheduling your things in such a way that you got to get these tasks done, but there's always another task that needs to be done, and they're not scheduled out in time, then you're going to feel like this burden that you always should be doing something, or that something's supposed to be being done, right? So what you do to counter that is instead you say, okay, well, I'm scheduling what I'm doing for the day, or I'm making my plan for the day, and then I'm planning out other things for the rest of the week or for the rest of the day. You gotta basically have a plan for the day where you're saying, for this day, this is what needs to be done for today, and then I'm done. Then I can relax, and I can take my mind off the problem, then I can do whatever. And if you don't do that, then you're always going to be working under that same stress, and you're never going to get to that point where where you relax, and your motivation is just going to drop like a rock. Trust me on this one. So that's my tip for today, is just figure out how you can do that, how you can structure that. Again, just to give you an example, today I was looking at my board and I was like, okay, well, I guess I'll record videos after my run and I'll clean up some email this evening. And I said, no, wait a minute, John, why don't you just go ahead and get the videos recorded now, okay, and then be done. And then tomorrow you'll pick up and do work again, or the next day you'll pick up and you'll do work again. And that just immediately, as soon as I did that, relief, burden off my shoulders, feels good, can breathe again, right? And that's really what you got to do. All right, hopefully you found some usefulness in this video. If you did, if you feel like you'd like to get more videos and you haven't subscribed already, click that subscribe button below. I'll talk to you next time. Take